Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and if you thought we reached our jank limit, then boy, you're in for a rude awakening. I'm going to present you with one of the coolest and most unique decks this standard season, and that is called Ally the Pilgrim, aka Mastermind Golos, a deck list that was originally designed by Ali Eldrazi, so I gotta give him a huge, deserved shout out for that. And this is my current version of it, which has been adapted to the best of one ranked metagame in Magic the Gathering Arena. I've made several changes and switched up the win condition, but generally the original concept is his, and I need to point that out before, going on with this video. So, having that said, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy today's YouTube video, because god fucking damn, this deck is just pure fire. Pure fire in the form of mono black. As you can see, originally this deck is basically a mono black deck. We have black cards and artifact cards in one deck. But if we take a peek at the sideboard, we see a rainbow of possibilities, and that is what this build is all about. This build is about combining Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim, with Chromatic Lantern, and converting our mono black strategy into a 5-color madness. It's just, I guess that's the best way to describe it. So how does this work? Well, basically, Chromatic Lantern is a 3-mana artifact that says lands you control have the ability to tap for any mana of any color, and it can tap itself for a mana of any color as well, enabling you to quote-unquote ramp with this artifact too. We want to combine this with Golos the Tireless Pilgrim. Golos the Tireless Pilgrim, which is a very difficult name for me to pronounce for some reason, is a 5-mana 3/5 legendary artifact creature, which says that when he enters the board, you search for a land card and you place it on the battlefield tapped. A lot of creatures do this. This is not a new ability that you've never heard of. In this particular case, it's not limited to a basic land, which means that we can search for the Cabal Stronghold as well. And then the second part of his ability is when things get pretty wacky. For 7 mana, which has to be, includes 2 uncolored mana, or any mana of any source basically, and 5 mana that has to be 1 of each color, we can trigger his ability and then exile the top 3 cards of our library and play the cards that we exiled that turn without paying their mana cost. So if we have a rather greedy strategy, which we do, we can get some pretty powerful swings with this, and that is basically the objective. It's basically using Chromatic Lantern to transform all of our swamps into multicolored lands, and then just going crazy with our sideboard. So we have 4 copies of Mastermind's Acquisition, a 4-mana Rivals of Ixalan sorcery that enables us to search for a card either in our own library or from outside the game, which includes the sideboard. This deck is aimed towards best of 1 because I think that's the preferable environment for it, as we can make full use of our sideboard as a toolbox sort of resource, instead of just having to mix it with cards that we would want to sideboard in a best of 3 scenario. I think this deck also capitalizes, or I would say the best term is benefits tremendously from the surprise factor, like yesterday's Demir Reanimated list as well. And I do think best of 1 is the environment for it, as we have an early curve comprised of very efficient single target removal alongside efficient AoE spells as well to handle aggro and creature based matchups in general, with 4 copies of this figure and 3 copies of Moment of Craving, which on top of that give us life gain, which can enable us to survive versus the likes of mono red, which is very, very prevalent. This deck has been tested significantly against mono red aggro, and with this early curve we actually have a positive win rate against it, which is very important if you're approaching a best of 1 ranked environment, right? With the deck, we have 4 copies of Treasure Map alongside 1 Thematic Compass, which kind of serves as like the 5th Treasure Map in a way, and these are there to enable us to both improve our card draw so we can fish for our combo pieces, and also to ramp. Once we flip it over to Treasure Cope, we gain 3 treasures, which we can use as mana, and as mana of any color, which can come into play as we go for Mastermind's Acquisition plays. So we have the early game to survive, remove the opponent's threats, clear the board, and once we get to turn 4 onwards, we start, putting our combo pieces together. Chromatic Lantern is obviously a very important component of this, which is why we're running it as a 4 of. And we also have the likes of Dread Presence, which is a 4-mana creature with the ability that says whenever we play a swamp, we get to choose one of the two, and that is either drawing a card and losing 1 life, or dealing 2 damage to any target and gaining 2 life. The second ability is the most important one, because this is half of our main win condition. What is our main win condition? Well, believe it or not, our main win condition lies in the sideboard, and it is called Scapeshift. Scapeshift is a personal addition to mine. This is not of mine, sorry. This is not a card that Ali was running in his own variant. This is something that I added in afterwards, and it turned out to be the most key card for the deck, at least through my own experience piloting it. As Scapeshift can enable us to, for just 4 mana, quite easily finish off the game. How do we do this? Well, we must have a Dread Presence on the board. Then we go for the Mastermind's Acquisition. We search for Scapeshift, and we go for it, and we sacrifice all of our lands and search for that many amount of swamps in our deck, and thus we trigger Dread Presence every single time we play one of these swamps. So if we sacrifice, for example, 7 lands and we bring 7 swamps onto the board, we can deal a total of 14 damage to the opponent's face while gaining 14 life. In case we're facing aggro, that could be quite relevant. And that turns it into a very powerful finish here. We got a little bit of prior damage onto the opponent. 7 mana is enough. If we need to build up more, we can take our time. We can build up our lands, and as long as we reach, 10 lands, or we have 2 Dread Presses on the board, it can be a pretty easy task. And when it comes to like obliterating our opponent with some Dread Presence machine gun action, the rest of the sideboard, as you can tell here, is basically, it's a one-off of each card, and it's there to give us a good resource for very fringe specific scenarios, right? We have 1 Duress, 1 Elder Spell, 1 Unmorigo, 1 Excellence Binding, 1 Kaya's Wrath, very important card. This can enable us to board wipe unconditionally, unlike Ritual of Soot, which we are main decking 2 copies of. Kaya's Wrath can destroy every single creature, which can be very relevant in specific scenarios, and with the help of Chromatic Lantern and or Treasure Maps Treasures, we can cast this early on in the match after we've obtained it through Masterminds. We have Mirari Conjecture, Massacre Girl, Thought Distortion, aka Twisted Face, Niv Mizzet Parun, which is one of the most recent additions that I made onto the deck to enable us to have a reliable win condition versus Mono Blue Tempo and Simic Flash, which are 2 decks that are rising up in popularity, and they love packing in a shitload of counterspells. So having a creature like Niv Mizzet, which can punish them for playing non-creature spells and cannot be countered, can mean the difference between victory or defeat. And I think this is a very, very key addition to the sideboard. Immortal Sun for Planeswalker decks, mainly Esper, but also potentially Grixis. Starve Extinction when we just don't really, Kaya's Wrath is not enough. We can't really conform with just board wiping the creatures. We want to destroy all the Planeswalkers as well. We go for the huge board wipe play that includes Planeswalkers and just reset the battlefield and take out a land in the process, because why not? Search for Scant is a thing, and it's a beautiful target for this. Motherfucking Zakama, because he's motherfucking Zakama, and that is pretty much all the reasons you need. He's motherfucking Zakama. Banefire and Mass Manipulation. So as you can see, we got very greedy tools, but also very specific reactive cards that can enable us to get out of any sort of situation, and that is what this deck is about. I love playing this. It's a very unique strategy. I haven't played anything like this in Standard for a very long time, and hopefully you guys find this as interesting as I have, and you enjoy today's gameplay, because I got quite the games for you. We played this bad boy in Mythic Rank Best of 1, and we had some amazing matches, and I'm very proud of today's video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the original deck list that I'm providing to you guys. Like I take pride in the quality of the decks that I bring. Sometimes they're my ideas, sometimes they're somebody else's. I always make sure to credit the creator regardless, and I think, it's important to use my platform as a way for you guys to find the coolest and most original and also effective decks in MTG Arena. So you can take inspiration yourselves, and you can pick out your favorites and pilot them yourselves and just have fun, man. That's what this is all about, right? And there's nothing as fun as playing like a wacky strategy that works. And you'll see how this one works pretty well. So that's all I gotta say, man. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. It's free. Fucking do it. Why not? Just subscribe. It'll make me happy. And stay tuned for daily MTG videos. Enjoy the games. I'll see you tomorrow. Would you ever make a sideboard for your Demir reanimated deck? I've been struggling with this deck against mono red, and I see it a lot in best of one. Like I said, I will eventually, man. I don't know when, but I'll work on it. Like the next video that I upload on that deck, not today's, because today's video is actually that deck, but the next video that I upload on it will be a best of 3. We're gonna hope we're facing an aggressive matchup, because otherwise we we ain't got much. Okay, mono red is good. Easy peasy. Not bad. Oh, I cry every time. I don't know if I should have played the Dread Presence here. I should have probably held on to this. Yikes. I should be taking this Elder Spell out of the deck. Are you guys ready? Type R in the chat if you're ready. Bitch! 69. Deserved. Right? But I was basically searching for Mastermind's acquisition to win the game. Like, that was my objective. But maybe I should have kept the soot. Like, maybe I should have just hoped. But it was very unlikely that I made it out of that turn alive. I was just fishing. I was fishing for a key card. Hey, Ramius, how's it going, buddy? All right. I'm going to try to bait out some sort of like counter from him this turn. Because what I really want to do is I want to be able to play Dread Presence next turn without it being interrupted. Worst case scenario, I reset the board state. I'm going to try to play this. If he has a counter, he has a counter. GG. GG. I think I need to add something. I need to add something for when I face matchups like this. Something that can't be countered. I'm gonna go with Nim Mizzet. It's a spell that can't be countered, so in those matchups in which they could counter me, I know Mizzet won't be able to be countered, and I can use it as a defensive tool that also happens to synergize with my deck, because every time I play, you know, an instant sorcery card is played, I draw a card, right? So I can just start, like, it just makes sense. So I think that's I'm gonna keep this. I think that's a good change. All right. Because whenever I face any sort of like flash deck, we always run into the same. We're just too vulnerable to counter spells, and when we have a strategy that revolves around us, you know, fishing for our sideboard, we should have something for that scenario. You know, we should have something for that matchup, which I don't understand why we don't, to begin with. Alright, so if we don't draw a land here, at least we have Ross's Contempt enabled, which is nice. We could also just go double this figure, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now. This feels pretty lame, but I have to do this. Alright, 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 alright. Can I give me some Jabadas in the chat, please? That's kind of mean, but whatever. You know, who says card games aren't about, you know, mind games as well? All right. I have several options here. I could play another one of these, but I'd rather just shoot this down and go for that, right? Because if I tap this, I get for 3 mana, I get 7. I mean, that feels. I still have 4, 5, 6. Okay. I actually could afford to do it. I could afford to play Dread Presence, play the Swamp, and activate Golos. I could do all that with the power of friendship and, of course, the Cabal Stronghold. Nice. Not even bad. Ooh, a Dino deck.
Nothing like a bit of. We won't answer to other guilds.
So I'm not tapping the treasure map before, you know, the upkeep did that time around because I know I want to play the Chromatic Lantern. Make use of the fact that my opponent's not applying pressure just yet, even though, you know, the big boys are coming. The big boys are indeed coming.
I've lived with animals my entire life. Explains a lot, actually.
The wild wasn't meant to be contained. The mysteries of life are endless.
Let's make it go boom boom. He wants to flash something in. Okay.
Every defeat
no,
is a
put me
new
back in.
beginning.
I'm actually going to hold back. I'm not going to play Mastermind's Acquisition just yet. Because I need to have this moment of craving enabled. For situations exactly like this. Alright, now we got the Ross's Contempt, so as long as we don't die to a Lightning Strike or a Gruul Spellbreaker, which he could be running. If I destroy this, I can't wipe out the board guaranteed next turn, so I have to Oh, yes. Oh, you pilgrim. Oh! I'm actually gonna keep that there, just in case, because we only lose to Lightning Strike now. Oh my goodness. Yes! Omae wo shindaru. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my god. There's too many. Oh, how about that sexy kill? Oh, nice. Oh boy, top 5 final boss, guys. Oh my god, we're gonna keep this. Turn to Turn to treasure map. Okay, he's playing mono white wieners. We are gonna try really hard to not die. Super early on. Honestly, this Cry the Carnarium is worth it. I delayed the Legion's landing. I also stopped a Venerated Loxodon from going down. I'm actually gonna go with this. A crabby time.
Here comes the DJ. Here comes the DJ.
I do think I should play Mastermind's Acquisition here. I know that's not a bad card to have. Yeah, we're gonna get hit hard here. Okay, now that's a good top deck. Oh, all right. Come on, baby, let's do this. Ah, okay. Okay, we got this. We got this. We got this, baby. We have so much anti-aggro tech in this deck. So many of our draws are just anti-little weenie dudes. They're anti-wieners! Hashtag kill the wieners. Let's go for it, boys. Pilgrim time, bitches! Okay, that was a little bit underwhelming, but I guess I'll take it. Bam. Biddy 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 ding ding. There we go, attaboy. Easy clap, I was the Kaya. Yeah, dude, that Kaya on the sideboard saved my ass, holy shit. All right, let's go for it. Pilgrim time, baby. Whoo! Alright, let's attack with Pilgrim, boy. Why do you have Scape Shift in the sideboard? You're about to find out. Pay attention, my child. You soon will know the answer. How about now for learning the answer? I think so. Who was you? Mr. Cinder. This is why I have Scape Shift in the sideboard. Omae wo shindaru! Oh no, he's gonna forfeit! Quickly! Make haste! He's top 5, he knows what's up! Bam. Oh, again. Oh. Ooh, a third time. Oh, it's my birthday. It's not my birthday. How about 4? How about 5? How about 6? How about 7? How about 8? How about 9? How about fuck Excalibur? And how about fuck Twilight? Props to him for standing through that.